Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Things you can heat. Can Miami fix their starting lineup? Welcome to Things You Can Heat. In these pieces inspired by Zach Lowe's classic column, I'll share the perspective of a dedicated Heat fan living up north and discuss what I observe. These insights will include analysis, key Heat storylines, and anything worth noting. We'll strive to keep these discussions positive, though sometimes the reality doesn't align with what we hope to see, like the Heat's starting lineup. So, without further ado, let's dive in. It's going to be a long season. Trade rumors will swarm social media, questions will be asked, and all eyes will be on Jimmy Butler this season because he's the next star who could be available. Other teams might see he hasn't signed an extension and think, I know the Heat don't want to lose him for nothing. Talks might take place, but will they materialize into anything? Maybe Butler will re-sign with the Heat, and this thing keeps going. Time will tell. But I wish I could warp time and space and put a 27-year-old Butler with this Heat team. It's obvious that Butler, at 35, can no longer string together dominant performances night after night in the regular season. In the 4 games this season, Butler has 2 elite and 2 subpar games in which he let others dominate the ball possession after possession. Many questions would be answered if the Heat had Butler at his apex with this group. We'd have the best two-way version of Butler, and he'd be signed to an extension. There wouldn't be this upcoming chaos, and the Heat's window to win a title would be wider. Right now, the window is shrinking, if not already closed. If Miami doesn't win it all this year, it's not likely that this group will return as is. It sucks that this is the Heat's predicament, but what are they going to do about it? With all this talk about the Heat's offense in the offseason, I've been pleased to see the three-point volume increase. 43% of the Heat's shots are coming from beyond the arc. This trend should continue because the Heat's accuracy will improve as the games continue. Duncan Robinson will not continue to struggle like this. One thing I've thoroughly enjoyed about these three-point attempts is the splash action Miami is running. The hammer screen set for the shooter drifting in the corner generates quick-hitting threes that keep the tempo flowing. Teams will adjust when teams realize this staple in SBO's playbook is occurring more frequently. Luckily for the Heat, the slip option is right there for the screener if defenses begin overplaying. Terry Rozier's outside shot making has been hot to start the year. His 14 makes on 32 attempts would be a career-high 44%. He's greatly benefiting from these splash actions as he can build a rhythm with these open looks. Alec Burks is automatic from the corner already, so he's a natural to take advantage of this action when he does play. Will he not have a regular role in the rotation? He had red in his eyes as he drilled 3 triples in the win against the Hornets, but he didn't register 1 minute in the loss to the Knicks this week. Burks' minutes are something to keep your eyes on. Miami Heat icon Goran Dragic thrilled to join NBA's efforts in Mexico City. Goran Dragic is beloved by the fans, players, coaches, and all others in the Miami Heat's organization. So it was impossible for him to pass up the opportunity to give back to the NBA and connect with his peers at once. This comes through the NBA Mexico City Game 2024. Dragic traveled to Mexico City, Mexico, to participate in a handful of events prior to the Heat's matchup against the Washington Wizards on Saturday at 9:30 Eastern Time. This game marks the league's 33rd in Mexico since 1992, more than any country outside of the United States and Canada. Dragic shared with Miami Heat on SI's Anthony Pasiala what led him to take part in the exciting event. So I got the opportunity to do some NBA events, and luckily for me, the Heat are playing versus Washington, Dragic shared. And so I said, you know what? I want to be involved a little bit and come to Mexico City and do some stuff for the NBA, and at the end of the day, watch the game and reconnect with my old team. I'm a die-hard fan, Miami Heat guy, I can't wait for the game. It's abundantly clear the retired All-Star guard holds a serious passion for basketball. This is why events including a Her Time to Play basketball development clinic for about 120 girls ages 8 to 14 as part of the week-long celebration and a junior NBA coaches academy clinic for 200 local coaches and physical education teachers mesh flawlessly with Dragic's interests. Junior NBA Coaches Academy Clinic for 200 local coaches and physical education teachers offering coaching tools and best practices / not applicable. The growing love for the game of basketball in Mexico is obvious, as there are more than 32 million NBA fans in the country, according to the NBA Global Fan Study. In addition to this, the youth popularity has tripled in Mexico and Brazil since 2019, per YouGov. With players like Dragic returning post-retirement, it shows there's a connection that runs deeper than just stepping on the court. Still, there is a key difference the former Heat guard recognizes between a typical regular season game and one in Mexico. Altitude, Dragic began. I can tell you right now, I don't remember the altitude, but I think it's way higher than Denver too. I remember when I was here with the Heat, SPO would sub us out like every 2 minutes because it was so hard. Everybody was breathing hard, you couldn't run anymore, and then you needed some time to break. That was probably the hardest thing. The 2024 Mexico City game, which is presented by Michelob Ultra, features what Dragic certainly hopes is a victory for his Heat in a sold-out Arena CDMX matchup. Best Giannis Antetokounmpo destinations if he demands Bucks trade. With the Milwaukee Bucks off to a shaky start this season, speculation is mounting around Giannis Antetokounmpo's future with the franchise. Since the team's decision to replace Adrian Griffin with Doc Rivers in January, the Bucks have struggled to find consistency, winning only 20 of their last 46 regular season and postseason games. After a rocky 1-3 start to the current season, Bill Ryder of CBS has reported that Giannis Antetokounmpo might consider exploring options outside Milwaukee. While nothing has been confirmed, an Eastern Conference executive suggested that Antetokounmpo's preferred landing spots could include the Miami Heat and Brooklyn Nets. Here's a detailed look at some of the top destinations and potential trade packages if the Bucks choose to honor a trade request. 5. Dallas Mavericks. Among the potential destinations for Antetokounmpo, the Dallas Mavericks present an intriguing, though unlikely, option. The Mavericks, fresh off a finals appearance last season where they fell to the Boston Celtics in 5 games, have recently bolstered their roster with Klay Thompson, an addition that has improved their early season record to 3-1. Paired with Luka Doncic, who narrowly missed out on MVP honors last year, Antetokounmpo could help elevate Dallas into a powerhouse capable of multiple deep playoff runs. However, the challenge lies in the assets Dallas would need to give up to secure a player of Antetokounmpo's caliber. According to Fadeaway World, a potential package might include players like P.J. Washington, Daniel Gafford, Maxi Kleber, and Najee Marshall, along with 2025 and 2031 first-round picks. This proposal would create a balanced deal under NBA salary cap regulations, but such a trade would strip Dallas of both valuable role players and future assets. The Mavericks' current roster depth has allowed them to field a competitive lineup around Doncic and Thompson. Sacrificing this depth for Antetokounmpo may be risky. On the other hand, the prospect of pairing Antetokounmpo with Doncic, an MVP-caliber player, and Kyrie Irving, a multi-time All-Star, would give Dallas one of the most potent offensive and defensive combinations in the league. Additionally, Klay Thompson's impressive start this season, shooting 42.5% from 3, highlights his continued ability to contribute at a high level, giving the Mavericks a balanced core of stars. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Giannis Antetokounmpo? Leave your opinion in the comments.